right. Here I am. Here I am. Let's see. We got an interesting night. Got to call in a gentleman. Yeah, very interesting night. So I'm just inviting some folks. Most people won't show up, but you never know. Yeah, as you can see, it's Jimmy Boots Finfera. Hopefully I spelled his name right. Ex-bounty hunter who has had his own good experiences with Bigfoot. That's right, Bigfoot. So I can invite. I never can figure. I just. So hey Gwen, and hey Samuel Woods. Let me invite my guest. So it's a little bit early. We might not be ready. Okay, we'll let him call. Anyways, Jimmy Boots. There he goes. Hello, Jimmy.
Hey, wouldn't let me answer the phone or answer the thing. Sorry about that.
Well, you sound real distant.
I do.
Now you sound a little bit better.
I forgot I was still getting things set up, and I wasn't done yet, and I had it sitting away from me. Is that better?
Sounds a little bit better, but if you get closer to your phone speaker part.
Okay. Hold on 1 second. Let me move this thing out of the way right here so I can pull this other chair up.
All right.
One step.
All right, we got Gwen, dear Gwen, and Dennis, who's friends with Gwen, and I didn't. How you doing, Dennis? Someday we got to hang out, and then we also got Samuel Woods so far. How am I doing? It's been a very busy day, Samuel Woods. Yeah. So we're looking for went to the folks at prosthetics that give you a new leg, and my mom, because her leg was amputated, she went there to see what we could do about that, and that doesn't look too promising, but she's got what do they call that, a shrink sock or something like that on her little stub. But she's got a great attitude about things, and yeah, it's been an interesting week, to say the least, Jimmy. I don't know if you can hear me, but yeah. I captured some very interesting images. You saw a couple of them, and sure enough, something has to happen, and they disappeared. So I think they decided they didn't want to have me. I'm maybe sharing too much information. Anyways, right. We got Jimmy here, ex-bounty hunter, and now as a man who's had just amazing experiences. Hey, Sean Bell. How can we hear you? Can you not hear us? You should be able to hear us. Let's see. Can you guys hear us? Dennis, can you hear us? Gwen, can you hear us? Samuel Woods, can you hear us? Can anybody hear us? Can you hear us? Can you hear us? Hopefully you can hear us, because the mics should be picking up on things, so I don't know.
I hear you okay.
All right, so I don't know what to say here. I mean, folks, can you hear us at all? I can turn up the volume a little bit. See your talk a little bit there, my friend. Jimmy, talk.
Okay, I'm here.
Man, you sound so freaking distant.
Really?
Keep it going.
All right. Testing 1 2 1 2 3
Hey,
4.
hey, Elijah. Loud and clear now. Sean Bell says loud and clear. So, okay.
Okay. Good.
Cool. So once again, we got Jimmy the ex-bounty hunter, and well, we got some amazing images, some of my own and some of Jimmy's. We had some very interesting talks. We're friends with Donahue. Oh, God. What's our friend's name again?
Don't forget we got Liz here.
Oh, yeah, we got Liz as well. That's your
Hi,
wife.
Michael.
Hi, Liz. If you guys could in any way get closer to the speaker, that would be to your mic.
Yes. There we go.
Because you guys are sound like you're like 10,000 billion miles away. I don't know if that's even what number would that actually be? No.
Is that any better? Is that any better?
Well, I guess we'll have to make the most of it. So, yeah, you found me. You reached out to me, which is really cool. Trent's here. Hey, how you doing, Trent? How you doing, Trent? So, yeah, it's going to be, let's see if we can get out of there. Are we still there?
Yeah.
Okay, this is just terrible with all this beginning stuff. Just terrible. What's the name of the group again? That we know each other through. What's the Facebook group?
It's through Donovan. Actually, I was going right there now to get the name of it exactly. My memory's not the best.
I know. I've had so much on my plate, just running around doing stuff for my mother, trying to find I hate to say this, but a nursing home. It looks like we're going to have one that's actually run by the Catholic Church. So called This is Francis Center, and
I got the group right here, brother.
What is the name of it?
North American Primate and Donovan Jennings.
Donovan Jennings. Donovan, please forgive me for my moronic, sad, pathetic brain. So, just so people might know about it, I'll swing it over here for a little bit. And yeah, so we've had a couple long discussions, and we have a lot in common. We seem to be in agreement.
Yes.
And I wish that wouldn't show up, but that's showing up. So, anyways, it's your thing. So we are talking via Messenger. So, but anyways, North American primates, and fascinating stuff to say the least. You shared me some amazing images, and I shared some with you, and you actually found some stuff that I didn't see. So, anyways, maybe we go into some of these images now. And that's not yours. So I got to redo this. Dang.
Yeah,
That's a new cover page for. This is a new cover page for Bigfoot is a Spirit. And these are all entities that I've captured myself in town. In town, folks. That's right. In town. You don't have to go a gazillion miles away in the woods to see high strangeness, to say the least. All right, so this is one of Jim's images. But before we get going and talking about the images, Jim, tell us a little bit about who you are.
Well, like you say, I'm retired bounty hunter 30 years. I am also a sensitive, and I have seen spirits or ghosts, will you, all my life. And 3 years ago, I walked out my door to take the trash out, and I use a spotlight because where we live out in the country, we have bear, coyotes, and foxes and so forth. So I always shine the light around the pond to make sure we have no animals around as I'm walking out, because I don't want to be surprised. And well, I did get a good surprise. Something that's probably about 8 or 9 foot tall standing outside the pond with 2 of them. And at first I didn't know what they were. I thought maybe it was a bear. And it looked like they were playing like peekaboo with me around a tree, you know? And so I kept watching them. And then I realized that where they were at and the ravine, how it drops down, these things, like I said, were 8 to 9 foot tall. Huh. And I said, yeah, so we don't have no bear that tall around here. And we only have what is a brown bear, I believe. The most black bear. I'm sorry, black bear, not brown bear. And it's very rare to see one of them in this area, anyways. So I was going to come in the house to get Liz, and I started walking away to get her. I don't think they liked that because they broke the trees in half, 2 of them.
Huh?
And, yeah. And so when I came out, before I didn't go back in, I'm sorry, when I turned around, then I noticed to the left of them, there was 2 more, but they were standing up on the, how can I say, like a levee. So it would put them more of about 6 foot tall. And so altogether there was 4 of them. But that wasn't the only thing. Is maybe a week later, I walked out my front door to clear my security camera lens off because I had spider webs all over. It was 1 o'clock in the morning, and I usually don't go and do that in the middle of the night. I wait till the next day, you know, like fighting all the bugs by the light there. And something told me to go and clean it off. So when I did, I was up there maybe about a minute and a half, 2 minutes, not real long. You know, it's right by my front door. And as I climbed down off the chair, I hear something. I look to my left, and I had to go change my drawers because there was this dirty white and gray, what I assumed to be a Sasquatch that stood between 9 and 10 foot tall. And I didn't know what to think, but I happened to go grab the flashlight and the gun. But it was amazing when it got up as it ran away. It didn't really run away, but it was so fast, but yet so graceful as it went away, you know, and it just totally amazed me. So now I'm really upset because I'm like, how do I tell people that, you know, I think I'm seeing Sasquatch on my property when everybody knows I'm sensitive and I see spirits and have been all my life, and I have a lot of documentation of it. So I thought people were going to think that I was just nuts and that maybe I was trying to do something to draw attention or to make money. And it really got me sick for a couple of months over that, you know. But then I ran into some good people out there to help me out and get me through this a little bit, and hearing some of their stories and them going through kind of the same thing, but maybe in another way was a big help. But yeah, so that's how it kind of got started there, bro.
All right. Yeah, I imagine it must have been, well, I know it was. You're shell shocked for a long time. How about you, Liz? Am I saying your name right?
You are, Michael.
That's a miracle. I said your name right. I usually butcher people's names. Liz, how about you? What's going on with you? I mean, have you seen similar things with Jimmy?
I have seen personally one time. And just to, you know, be frank about it, I am not a sensitive. I had, before meeting Jimmy, I had never done any type of paranormal research. I was a very practical person, very logical, science-minded. I am Christian. I'm deeply religious. So cool. To me, it has to
We got something in common already because I'm totally sold out to Jesus. Before we go any further, just let me I want to interject a little bit. Elijah, thank you for joining us once again. Sean, Trent, if you're still there, cool. Angie Swans too. Wow, that's awesome. Andy, thank you for showing up, and also Kimberly and all the other folks. So back to what you were saying. I'm sorry, just to let you know there's people paying attention.
That's okay. So, after meeting Jimmy, he is a paranormal researcher, and he, didn't overwhelm me at first. He brought it in bits and pieces, and of course, I thought he was schizophrenic. I mean, I come up with a lot of different, reasoning as to why he was seeing things or bringing up these pictures, but honestly, Michael, over the last 5 years, he's convinced me of a lot of things in a whole new perspective. I read the Bible from a different perspective in a lot of areas, and I learned to incorporate a lot of things I never thought I would. As far as my own personal Sasquatch experience, I did have one where Jimmy was not there. And, the height of these things seems outrageous, but I had seen it myself, this dirty gray colored one. It was across the pond out in the field, and I did not move. I was shell-shocked. I stood still, and he wasn't clear in detail. It was more the outline of him and his size. Obviously, he looked hairy to me, but he moved behind the tree out of my line of sight, and that's what freaked me out. So, of course, I went running to Jimmy about that. But that's my own personal experience. I have had things thrown at me. The other day, I heard quite a large tree break across the pond, and I went running over there to see what it was because I heard it come crashing down. And when I got to the area I thought it was, something was thrown into the water in the opposite direction, which caused me to look that way. And I think they actually have, there are a number of them here, and I think they actually have, what they do is they try to keep us from seeing them sometimes, and they kind of work together as a team to keep themselves hidden, or if they might have young ones around to, keep them safe. So, I mean, I've had a lot of different odd things happen. One visual, Jimmy gets pictures of them all the time.
What do you think Sasquatch, Bigfoot, Grassman, whatever? What do you think it is?
Honestly, I have a couple of different ideas. I do think it's dimensional. I say that because dimensions are in the Bible, in Ephesians. We also have Jesus, who would come in and out of a room without using the door. That's in John. Dimensions exist. God created them. What I notice about Jimmy's Sasquatches, they aren't necessarily your normal primate. They're in and out. Sometimes he gets pictures. I see nothing in front of us, and he'll take a picture and show it to me immediately, and it's there. I mean, how can you explain that? He has no trick photography going on. I mean, I watch him do this stuff. I've questioned it, to whatever extent I can. I don't know what it is. I think it's dimensional. I think more towards the end times. I think we're experiencing that more, maybe in preparation of these strange things we're all going to see and have happen in our world.
Huh.
We have aliens, we have spaceships, we can't deny them. Personally, I tend to lean on their evil spirits, things not of God, but I don't know. I haven't had that one completely answered. Sasquatch has been not, he's not been aggressive towards us.
Well, talking about supposed aliens, I got something to share with you folks. Let me open this up a little bit. I'm working on a video, and I'm just long ways to go. Oh, by the way, Jimmy does does videos as well. But we're talking about spaceships, right? So let me do this. Let me mute these suckers. And hopefully I muted all the noise. I'm at it. Let's see if I can mute this. This is noise. I hope there's no noise. But this, you're talking about a spaceship. Now, people post this and they say it's CGI, but I'm going to slow this down and I'm going to prove to everybody this is not CGI at all. Let's see if I can get this running. While we're talking, while we're talking, you folks can look at this and you just slowly look at this. This dark spot right here, by the way, is not any anomaly due to CGI. It's actually a bunch of spirits. So, oh shoot, I lost it. Let me back up. Let's get you open again here. So anyways, yeah, so we got bubblers left like goodbye. Okay, yeah, see you later, Mark. Andy feels that they're Nephilim spirits. Look at to the left with a sort of a helmet on. He's talking about one of your images, which we will go back to after we watch this. But since we're talking about aliens, and there is an association with these things we call Bigfoot, orbs, supposed spaceships, that kind of thing. So I slowed this thing down. No, this is like an 18-second piece of, I think a 30-second video that I have slowed down to about 5-something minutes. So I don't know why this clicking thing's going on, but I sure hopefully nobody's not. Leave me alone. Don't do that. Okay. I'm trying to do something here, buddy. So anyways, if you pay attention to these lights, it's very interesting. You look at the shape of this thing. I don't believe it actually is a quote-unquote alien spaceship. I have my own opinions about things, but this is not today's not about me, about all sorts of things that I'm sure that folks would probably, YouTube would disagree with me greatly about. But one thing is, if you look at this, like the black swirling around, and somebody says that's gas or something, or it's but if you look at this, and this is so awkward in its shape that it being a flying craft, but solely of what it is, makes no sense. But all those lights, I believe, are actually, this is a big blob, I believe, of a bunch of different spiritual entities, and hopefully we'll be able to prove that. But as you watch this thing is going to go into a diamond. This is fascinating. Look at these lights light up. Now, people say this is CGI, or that this is Photoshopped. That somebody spent a lot of time doing this. I'm sorry. There's no Photoshop in this at all. This is 100% legit, and I didn't do it. But just simply breaking down this video, this is real. Hopefully you guys can see this, Liz and Jimmy, and because this is a trip. This is a trip. Look at this thing. Now, I've talked to guys who were in the military, especially in the Gulf and all that, and the second Gulf War there, after 9/11, and they said that they saw some of these things, these diamond-shaped craft, as they called it, in the sky while they were doing their thing, battle and all that. What was interesting that these things go into it. Now you're talking about dimensions and all that, Liz. Now watch
right.
It goes into this thing, then watch what it does. Just watch what it does. Hopefully you can see it.
Michael, I can't find it on the what do you want on YouTube? I'm trying to look and I can't find it.
It's not YouTube. It's right there on Facebook. Oh well. Everybody else.
Okay.
Everybody else saw it. Did you see it, Liz?
No, I didn't. Sorry. So, Michael, I've watched thousands, and my son-in-law.
Well, you know what, you guys, when this gets on YouTube, you go back and you're going to be shocked what you saw. This is not.
I mean, I believe in them, Michael. They're out there, and it could be that this is the great deception of the end times. We don't know yet, but
So
they are there. I have no doubt.
Okay. Well, I don't want to go too long into that, but you feel strongly that it's the end times. Now look at that thing. My
Yeah.
goodness.
We got it, Mike. I got it on here now.
You can see your picture.
Yes, I am up on here
Would you
now.
like to watch the video again?
Yeah, if you would put it on, that'd be great.
Jimmy Boots. Oh, hey, you finally joined us, Jimmy. You're supposed to have joined us a long time ago. What the heck's wrong with you, man? All right, we'll try it again. It's all fun, anyways. Oh, not
Sure
not
it
all
is.
of it's fun. A lot of it's quite disturbing and quite serious. And
Yeah.
I hope someday that we can help people realize that the Lord is real and the spiritual realm is real and that heaven's real and New Jerusalem is a place you really want to be. And that there's something going on up there. So check this out. I've slowed this down once again. This video is supposed to be about 30 seconds, but I slowed it down considerably. So now this is going to be about 5 minutes. And I just want you guys to watch carefully. If you can see all these lights, there's this very strange looking quote unquote craft, but I don't believe it's a craft at all. Watch it. I guess maybe I could put music if you want the music. But you can see, first of all, you can see if you start paying attention, there's going to be a black swirl that goes around. But it has nothing to do with the craft itself, except that it has some kind of association. It has nothing to do with the propulsion or anything like that. I really believe this is a whole bunch of entity spirits, kind of like if you see orbs, that kind of thing, a big mass of orbs and spirits. I really believe that what we're looking at here is a glob of what we call fallen angels, or we could call angelic beings of some sort that are that live in the second heaven up there above us. So. But what's fascinating is what this thing ends up doing and what it ends up going into. I guarantee you this. Yeah, I don't know if you've seen this, Jimmy, and I don't know if you've seen it as well, Liz. If you have seen this video before, let me know. But
no, I haven't.
It's just truly.
It's scary.
Well, I don't know if it's scary. I mean, the more you do this, the more you realize. As long as you put your faith in Heavenly Father, in the name of Jesus Christ, what He's done for us, that you call upon Heavenly Father, be your protective hedge. That He listens to His beating angels to protect you and fill you full of your Holy Spirit in your home. They seem to. There's two things that happen. They seem to become more interested in you.
Yes.
But they keep away from you too. So it's a weird dynamic. So.
Right.
Yeah, that's I do reiterate that to Jimmy a lot, Michael, that we're the ones with the authority over them, and definitely to use it. It's scary to me in a lot of ways because it's so odd, so bizarre, something so foreign and unnatural to us, and to see things like that.
The interesting is, Liz, if you thought about that, do you ever think about it's because of our own thinking and because how we've been programmed from the public fool system, even how our own, religion itself is let us down by not telling us the full truth. But look at this. Look at this. Look at this, Liz. Can you see it?
I can see it.
Look at this thing. But this is more. It gets more bizarre. So it turns into this diamond-shaped thing. They're hovering in there.
Where was this filmed at, Mike?
Somewhere in the States. I don't remember. I think, or was it Europe? I can't remember now. I don't know. But I know one thing: it's not CGI because I can just tell by the way it looks and all that it would be.
Right.
If it was somebody who did do it, who photoshopped this and put all this energy into it, they did an incredible job, and it took months to do. And because it's very difficult to fake this stuff, folks. Look at this. People always think that it's photoshopped, and it's just like pareidolia. Look at this thing. Look at what they're doing. It goes into the diamond, Okay. Now watch what happens. Now, a lot of people captured these diamonds in the sky too.
Right, right.
And it turns and it goes like that, and you can see it fade in. Boom.
Wow.
That's incredible. But you know,
Wow.
we don't know what's going on in the other dimensions. I mean, their physics obviously is entirely different from what God created in our existence here. But I see things like that, and it's just creepy to me.
What's interesting too, as time goes on, you can see entities manifesting in the trees too. So, like I said, these quote unquote what people call UFOs, unidentified flying objects. There's always the association with orbs, UFOs, quote unquote Bigfoot, and all those sorts of other entities. So I'm sorry to have distracted you, but when you brought up the whole thing about UFOs, I had to show this. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, that's pretty awesome. But there's a lot of times that in our research, Michael, that UFOs have been involved with sightings of Sasquatch. We had a huge one up in Pennsylvania some years back that Jimmy and I have been, really wanting to go and research, what's been going on since then. But, we have a lot of reputable people in our own community who have seen Bigfoots here. And odd occurrences, a friend of mine in town coming to me and telling me she dreamed of Bigfoot in the middle of town. A week later, another resident saying they had seen Bigfoot in the town, where this one person dreamed. It just seems where any of these sightings are happening, there's a lot of other things going on. Jimmy recently got a picture of what looked like an alien entity in the woods, and it's a good picture.
No, you say alien entities as if some of the big eyes and a big head and skinny body.
Yes, your typical gret, what they call the grays. It definitely, I don't know if you've seen the picture. I'm certainly sure Jimmy posted it, but it just seems wherever Sasquatch, Bigfoot is, there's other things going on. At least here, and from other people we've talked to, there's a lot of other things.
I'm going to tell you a little secret. I think it's everywhere. So.
Yeah.
So here's Andy, my buddy Andy. He did a really good job breaking down this. Hold on a second here. Andy Brett Moeller, and then let's look at this. This is your image. Yes.
That was about a week or 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Oh, it's going the wrong direction. This is some of Andy's stuff. So it goes like that, goes like that, goes like that, goes like that. So he's revealing some of the images that you've actually filmed. So just so you know that, and he's pretty good at finding stuff. He's discovered the connection between these things and electricity, nuclear power plants in general. So
yes, this one here had a very strong smell to her. I say her because Donovan actually found that on the side it looks like a juvenile as well. I also took a picture after that to show people that it was actually blocking branches at the same time. So it showed that there was definitely something standing there. And when I what happened was I was standing there right at my edge of the wood line of my property, and I heard a grunt like someone. So when that happened, I started taking pictures. Well, I'm sorry, the grunt, then the smell came, and then I started taking pictures, and then that's when I started getting these photos there.
Yeah, I've heard the grunting too.
Yeah.
I'm going to go. We're now in a new picture here now where there's several heads popping out of a tree.
Yes.
Okay. What do you think about that? What do you think about that?
Those were, my buddy actually was here the smell came again. And I said, the wet dog smell. And I said, out of several of the so-called Sasquatch we have here, we have one that really smells. And he said, yes, I smelled it last night when I walked around the pond. So I started taking pictures again because I knew she was close, and that's when I was able to get them pictures there. And sometimes you can actually see the trees moving as well, the certain branches that they're on or by.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
They like to,
go
let me
ahead.
tell you something.
Yeah.
They like when I interact with them. When I don't, they'll start throwing rocks at the house. And when I say they throw a rock at the house, let me tell you something, buddy. I jump high.
I bet you.
That's loud.
So they have the stink smell like what you hear for demons do.
Well,
But, I mean, that's, I'm not saying necessarily you're dealing with demons. I'm just saying that is commonly reported with demonic activity.
sometimes it is.
And throwing rocks, by the way. So I'm not saying that's what you're dealing with, per se. I'm just saying.
Right. No. I understand. We had one morning, we woke up and we heard a knock on the dresser, one knock. And I went to use the restroom. And I came back and I said, Liz, I said, sometimes spirits, when they want your attention and need to communicate with you, they'll do that. Next thing you know, at 8 o'clock in the morning, something hit our roof so loud twice, the whole house shook.
It's a rock house.
Yeah, it's a rock house that goes into the ground. So actually, where this happened at, I could stand there and touch the roof myself. You know what I mean?
Right.
But something nailed it so hard. It took the house and it goes into the ground.
So now what did you do when that happened? What did you just jump up and so, did you get scared? Were you frightened?
No, I grabbed the recorder and tried to find out what the heck was going on, and we ran outside to see if anything was out there.
Yeah, branches that maybe had fallen down off the trees. We found nothing. I even got on the roof, Michael, and there wasn't even a stick, anywhere close by. So
what's wrong with you, Liz? Why would you go? Why would you go on the roof if you know these things are wrong? Anyways, I want to say hello to Donovan Jennings, who was on.
Hey, Donovan, what's up, buddy?
Susan De Lemos, David. So I imagine hopefully we're going to do a show. And Randall, hopefully we're going to do a show. I did a show with Randall. He's got a wonderful story about him and his father and how they interacted with these UFOs with a flashlight, and then eventually these hairy things showed up. Randall even has a clump of hair or so. And we did a show, and I butchered his name, and then I'm not gonna redo that. It's put so much time. I butchered his name. Sorry, Randall, if you're still there. Just like everybody else, I destroy everybody's names. So I'm terrible with names. Anyways, back to your guys' situation. So you're throwing big old rocks at your house.
Yeah.
And it's stinking and smelling, and you're seeing these big things. You're taking pictures of the things with the heads popping out of trees.
Right.
And so, I guess if I learned that when these things show up in my house, I start calling on the name of Jesus and rebuking the heck out of them. I don't want them on my property. And you know what? I don't spend a lot of time catching these images too, and so I like this week I spent a grand total of 5 minutes, and in 5 minutes I found tons of entities, and you saw a few of those, didn't you?
Yeah. They come to us, and it happened to us. I didn't go looking for them, and so it's I don't have to go far to research. We've got 13 acres here, not counting the about 100 some acres of woods in off our property. But
well, it's interesting that you bring that up, because I want to bring up a couple things to people. First of all, someone wanted to know what kind of camera am I using to capture these images. A simple cell phone will work.
Yes.
The other thing is somebody was bringing up that they are an armchair researcher and that they're disabled. And I want to say right now that you don't even need to tromp out in those woods. If you can drive a car, or someone else can drive a car, and you can go along the edges of wood lines, which anybody can do because they're all over the place.
Right.
And you can take pictures. You're going to find these things. I hate to tell you that. I hate to take the mystery away from this. Because there's a lot of people out there that they feel you need to get on the boots, it's on the ground kind of thing, and if I'm sorry. Here's here's an image that you and I looked at that I took just a couple. Oh, it was a Tuesday, and I spent a grand total of 5 minutes walking into the grocery store and out of the grocery store. And of course, here's the old dude with the sunglasses. Remember him?
Yeah.
Isn't that funny? But it gets more bizarre, folks. And I'm just going to, because it's not all about my stuff, but so. You see this entity right here. If you say, "Oh, that's pareidolia," and you have to look really close because that is not.
I hate that word so much.
And you see all these other heads, and then you blew it up, and after I circled it, and you're like, "Hey, look at that!" And like, "Oh yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff going on." But so, anyways, we'll get it out there.
That's what me and Donovan do. We share our information. We share our photos. Donovan's like a brother to me. I love the guy to death. And, these people that can't get out in the woods, and people give them a hard time, I can't stand that. We're supposed to be a family helping one another, So if somebody can go in the woods and they need to pass the information off to once they can, That's what it's supposed to be about. Like this one guy I see on here, he goes, blah, blah, blah. Well, you know what? You don't have to listen to us. You can carry your bus somewhere else, But
that's all right. It's okay, But I think it's really natural for people to react. I was that person one time too.
Right.
I thought everybody that was doing this and then Bigfoot research and all that was what. That's because, and you and I have talked about this, is that the mainstream media being used specifically by those that that control the narrative have turned it into a big, a comedy show where guys are running around with all sorts of this, that, and the other, and knocking on trees. And I'm not saying you can't do tree knocking, and it does happen, but it doesn't happen the way they do it. You know what I mean? It's not a. It's not a joke. It's quite.
No.
It's and we're dealing with something that's it's been around forever. And every culture has known about it. And so they're out there to try to make it look like, hey, we're out there chasing some monkey guy. And I'm not saying there isn't some, hominids and all that out there, but I'm telling you, they only represent a very small sliver of what's actually going out there.
I again, like many people, I didn't ask for this to happen, and it did. And, if I didn't have all this happen and I heard somebody else say that they have encountered them every day, I would probably say, yeah, right. But, it does happen. And there is people that see it just once, and then there's people that may see it twice, but there's people like us that they pick where they live in their area, just happen to live in the area, whatever. Look, I've seen them hunt, and I don't care if somebody laughs at me or tells me about it, doesn't matter. I know what I've seen, okay? Yeah. I've seen so much here with them. I've learned so much with them, that I'm going to tell you right now, I don't think you're going to be able to catch them. I don't think you're going to be able to kill one to bring it to the table either,
Probably not. Dude, how long is it taking you to grow that mane of yours? You got that. That's like 3 feet worth of hair there. How are you doing that, man?
Oh.
How many decades did it take you to do that?
Now it's a little shorter.
It's a little shorter now, is it?
Yeah. I do the fun thing now.
And your gal looks pretty good too there. How did a guy like you get a pretty gal? What the heck's wrong?
Oh man, I tell you what, I won on a raffle.
What are we looking at right here, Jim?
The picture of the Haunted Man Productions.
No, it's probably there's a little bit of delay, but eventually when you get there, there'll be you'll see it. I got it off your Twitter feed, so your Twitter account. What is
Oh,
it?
okay.
I see two. I see two
It's
black
different.
dots.
It looks like it's trying to. Okay, here it comes. What is that? Actually, I think that's somebody else's. I can't see. Let's see. Oh.
I can see
there.
it. I can see you've got some images and some things that look like it's in black and white. Or
That is not mine, actually. I think that's somebody else's. I believe that I reposted or something. Maybe I can't. It's hard for me to see. Yeah, I think that's a friend of mine is an author in California. Yeah, that's who that is. That's his. He's an author in California that sees a lot of spirits, and I believe I reposted his stuff there is what that was.
Okay. Well, eventually you'll see something here. There's something that seems to be a nighttime picture of some kind of entity that looks like almost like a Sasquatch. But I don't believe it is Sasquatch. I think it is 3 or 4 different entities that look just like they could be a Sasquatch. The way it's all they're piled up together. So
I'm not sure what that picture is either, bro.
you don't know that is what came from your either I think from your feed or your Facebook page. This is a fascinating picture right here, folks. This thing right here you got circled. I don't know whose this is, but they did it.
Yeah, that's mine.
Is that yours?
No, it is mine.
At the woods.
You got that? This thing right here. If you look at this thing, whatever this thing is, there's multiple things. There's a head right here. There's a head right here. And a big head right here. There's even a head on top that you missed. In fact, they're stacking up as usual up the tree. What's up with that? What do you think we got going on here?
It's I tell you what, I
the
put up something yesterday. I think it was last night across the pond that really shows it very clearly the spirits.
You got some big ones in this, man. You got some. There's so much in this video. It's interesting that you only circled this one when you got things going on here. You got clearly entities going right here. You got a big old. There's somewhere right there, you know. And you got the old lizard-looking thing right here. It's fascinating. Just fascinating. What is in the woods? What's on the edge of the woods? What pops out of these trees?
Yeah, I think something was moving on me. I might have circled it. I can't remember. I take a lot of pictures. And what I do, when I take a photo, I'll take like 5 shots of that area, then I'll pan away. I'll take 5 shots, I'll pan back, take 5 more, and I'll pan away. This way, I'm able to find out if I can prove or disprove something that may be in a photo.
Sure.
Yeah. Michael, he's also, I don't know if you can find it, but he's got a shot up there that I think is just fantastic. He was driving down the driveway, and this is how ordinary these pictures, you know, the circumstances they come from. He was driving down her driveway, had the camera, it was your phone, correct?
Yes.
Out the window,
It was snowing.
taking pictures. No, not that one. This is the one with the pupils and the teeth.
It was snowing.
Oh, it was snowing that day. He started taking pictures, and
Video. We wanted the video.
we got right back to the house, which is a very short distance on the driveway. Looked at the photos, and he has Sasquatch's pupils, his teeth, the hair. That I about fell off the chair. I couldn't believe it because there was nothing there when we were driving down.
Of course. You never see with the naked eye. So here we have this technology that's been around for over 150 years, believe it or not.
Right.
And I'm strongly convinced at this point that the reason why is the camera was developed was for those who are involved in channeling, just to be able to see the spirits that they're dealing with, because it's understood. Although, and you see, I have a science background too, so this is all new to me. But apparently, this is not new to those who actually know what's going on.
You know what this picture is here, the circle?
Yeah.
Actually, I seen a spirit. And it's kind of up on the left, 11 o'clock is on the circle there. You'll see his head and face. That's what that was.
Well, I see multiple ones, and there's a big black guy. If you were to lighten this, you would see two eyes and a mouth and a nose. This is like what you would call your traditional Sasquatch. But then they got one right here that looks like a cat. But you actually got something right on top of here too, and you got it stacking up. It's it's just typical. It's your typical forest spirits. This is an interesting one too. Here you got, and I've seen this guy before in my own woods. So
right.
See that eyes? You see the eyes there, folks, and the mouth, and they always have their mouths out like.
That's from yesterday.
Is that from yesterday?
Yeah, this is a good one. And what I wanted people to see is behind the spirits, you see the tree as well. So it shows you that they're in front of the tree. That it's just not some stupid leaves or whatever you want to think it is. This is something I've been going through all my life that I even sometimes see with my naked eyes. And it's a very common thing for me. But yeah, this land here is so active with spirits and Sasquatch. If anybody would come here, like Donna said, you don't believe, come here and spend a couple days with them. And when you leave, you will be a believer. You know?
Yeah, I'm sure of that. By the way, just to say hello, there's now Jerry Smith's here. You got
Jerry, what's up, Jerry?
Mary A. Wagner's with us now, and Kelly. Oh, Kelly. Kelly, I'll see you tomorrow, man. He's probably like, what the damn? It's like, don't mention my name, man. I'm embarrassed. So. yeah, I think he checks me out and says, this dude is super weird, but we like fish. So we got hopefully we got a meeting tomorrow. We'll meet up local fish club. Samantha Allen is here. Cool. Weird. Cool. So anyways, this is an image of some forest spirits that Jimmy took. And this is a larger image of this. And I always like doing this sort of thing because this is an opportunity today to teach people, because a lot of people say, oh, it's pareidolia. But first of all, you go educate yourself about pareidolias, and you'll never see images like this ever.
No, and you can see the color change on them. You can
you see his eyes right there, in his mouth, and his cone head that is sticking out. So. But you know what? Guess what? He has a buddy right there. He's got a beautiful head right there. Forest spirits, two eyes.
Yes,
nose,
yes.
And mouth. You see it?
Yes, and you can see behind it as well.
Right,
which I like.
Trees behind it. So. Exactly. Just really.
That is where the tree got pushed over actually the other day as well. That Liz was speaking of.
Ah.
Yes.
There's always got to be a tree lean or a tree pushed over. Here's a guy. He's the one who's got an eye opening up right there. In this, some of these forest spirits look like things we've never seen before, like straight out of Where the Wild Things Are. You think that guy might have known something?
These spirits, when we do a ghost box session, okay, where we use it's like a radio that's set up to talk to spirits, and when they talk to us, they answer us just like me and you are talking now, and we have actually video of it, and they actually help us to tell us where the Sasquatch is at the time when we're doing this, and it's pretty amazing. And I call Sasquatch, I call him the big guy. So we were on the ghost box one night, and there was like 5 or 6 of us, and the spirit says the big guy's here. So we actually asked him as well, are you scared of the big guy? And he said, yes. And then I got this picture of him, and oh my God, his head looked like it's as big as, I don't know, like a car door. It's I don't understand it sometimes, you know?
Yeah, they come in all different shapes and sizes. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, it makes you think. It makes you think one thing, that once you get to the other side and God's creation there in heaven, I think was it you that mentioned that? Is, we're down and worshiping God and praising Him. Could we be like kneeling down together with one of these things?
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because they're God's creations too. Maybe
Right.
I don't know how intelligent these things are. Sometimes I wonder if they're just simply like, well, they're like rodents, but in the spiritual realm. But they're just big rodents.
I believe they're an animal blood part man. I also, like I said, I believe they're young dimensions. I've seen them hunt. I've heard when they kill the deer and them yell at the top of their lungs because they killed the deer. I've heard them mimic, like Donovan says, other animals, and they at first have a little trouble getting it out, and then once they do, it almost sounds just like that animal. And they even come up to the house and whistle. I thought there was a guy standing at my house whistling outside, and as he walks away, you can hear him still whistling, you know. So I run out there. Of course, I don't see anything, you know. But when one chased a deer last winter across the field, he's in a standing position as the way we run. And then as he's going, his upper body is bent over, so he looks like an L shape. And then as he gets farther down, going farther, chasing the deer, he's then in all four, all four on the ground. It was just the most amazing thing to see. But when I heard that deer get killed, and I heard them yell at the top of their lungs after that deer did, it scared me a little bit, you know? It did. It gave me a little scare.
Yeah,
so
well,
there's a lot of power coming out of that old monkey.
Thank God it's not us they're going after, huh?
yeah, right.
It's it can be quite frightening when you first start seeing things. You start realizing how abundant they actually are. They're just everywhere. So
yeah, look at these
Liz,
pictures.
with your here's a bad one. Look at this. I mean, I could expand these things, copy and expand, but there's two eyes. And they say it's all pareidolia, but unfortunately, it ain't pareidolia, folks.
No, it's not. You know what? I used to be upset about that, but now I know what it is. I know my experiences are real, and that's what's important.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And if somebody wants to listen to what I have to tell them about these things to help them, then I'll be more than happy to. You know, because there's a lot more to these things than what meets the eye. And look, I got video of, is it a dimension? I don't know. But what you see is, it looks like electricity breaking, and then you hear the sound. It sounds like a sonic boom. Yes. And then you see this anomaly come out of it. And I've had that in my house, and this feeling's here coming out. Outside, a buddy of mine was here, and his wife, and you hear this crackling, and it sounds like static electricity. And I look over, and that's what it looks like little lightning, you know. So something's definitely going on with that, and I, in my theory, believe that's something stepping into or out of a dimension, you know. But I have it on video, so I mean, I got proof of it. It does happen. What exactly is it? We don't truly know yet, but it's here.
I'm looking at this thing. Remember, was it you or was it Don? Was it Donovan? I can't remember. I said, some of these things look like hippopotamuses.
Yeah.
But this guy looks like Igor from Winnie the Pooh. What's the name of that one? The donkey. Is it Igor? Is that his name?
Oh.
I see his two nose. There's his mouth. There's his nostrils. There's his eyes.
That's funny.
Unless it's two entities combined. And then you got this. But yeah, so okay, why is it that the heads are always popping out of the tree?
Yeah, you're right. Like, in this thing. Yeah, we always don't get to see the body with it. It was always hidden after top of branches or whatever.
Now, is this when you get to it? You see there's just a new with this image with a circle. Is this?
That's it.
Is this the new one?
That's the one. There should be a blown up one in there where you can see his eyes and his teeth.
This is not. I didn't get the big one, so.
Yeah, that's the one that I captured the eyes and the teeth on. And when you zoom in on it, you can see the teeth very well. And the eyes, and you can see his pupil in the one eye. That one. Yeah.
There's the teeth. It's not perfect, and plus you lose integrity and.
There we go.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to see when you're looking through it this way, but yeah. If you go on my Twitter page and stuff, you'll see it on there. You can see it very well.
Now, is this like on the ground? Is these like twigs and stuff, branches, or is this like a?
No, he's about. I think there is about 9 feet, 10 feet in the air.
So he's not.
This was a very interesting video because I seen a red light over there, which this is happening more often as well. And so I filmed that location, and in the red light, I actually have found in the video where there's another entity that looks like an alien. That's the only thing I could say.
No, there's always got to be an alien-looking one. There's always a bunch of them.
Yeah.
If you ever see a Sasquatch, I guarantee you, folks, there's a lot of things else going on. A lot of things going on. This is interesting here, this image, but it's not looking good. But what is this all about?
Let me see. It's kind of hard for me to see. Let me see what I can make
There's
it.
skull and.
Oh, that's just in my house. I think that's.
Yeah, that's just in my house. What the heck? You know, it's funny.
Oh no, it's a face. There. I'm sorry. This was on the left side. Okay, so if you look in
at
the
this,
middle,
folks. Look at this
halfway
face.
up and go to the above the skull. There's a face right there.
Look at that thing
That's
manifesting.
Huh?
I'm just saying, folks, look at this. This thing manifesting above
Yes.
the skull.
Yes.
But there's not just that thing. There's actually other entities in here as well.
Oh yeah. This house is very active. It's very active with spirits.
Now, is that what you want?
I got no choice. It's been this way all my life since I was about 4 years old.
I mean, have you ever decided, I'm going to try to rebuke these things and tell them to get
I can't.
Have you tried?
No, there's a lot more into this side of it, and with me, and sometimes when I do communication with them and I video it, they're lining up, and it's like you hear names Tom, Paul, John. They want people to know they're there. And matter of fact, let me tell you, they say you shouldn't talk to spirits or communicate or do anything with them if you're drinking or somebody's doing drugs of any kind, whatever. Well, that's fact. One night I was drinking, and I don't really drink. And I decided to do a ghost box session. And nobody would talk. And then finally this lady says, "You are high." And she would talk to me. Because she knew that it would be dangerous for me. Because then other things will come in. Because that's when you're at your lowest part, your guard's down when you're drinking or somebody doing drugs or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, but I like I said, this has been a part of my life since I was 4 years old. I don't think I could get rid of them if I wanted to.
Now, Liz, how can you, as a Christian, I'm not judging you, but everyone's going to be thinking, well, at least I'm thinking, as a Christian, how is it you can live in a house like this?
It's not as hard as you would think, Michael, because I understand where you're getting at, because I'm an obedient Christian myself. You don't conjure spirits. This is huge, something you don't do. This is the realm of God, and God is the head of everything. You're either obedient or you're not, and you're going to answer for it. Jimmy and I, we've had a lot of contention between us in the beginning over this.
Yes.
I bet you.
But I will tell you this, though. What I have experienced it's a bit of an eye opener. I've had to go back to the Bible repeatedly, because I would tell Jimmy, your spirits are actually evil. They're pretending to be passed on souls. I've had to do a lot of research biblically myself. I have to say that I come to it with a little bit of a different perspective. And I have to say, I don't think that's evil inspired. I don't think that's something that Satan is leading me to. I do this with my eyes wide open. I do it after a lot of studying, a lot of scripture, a lot of praying. I think there's something maybe in the future in the fight, Michael, that we all may have to be involved in to be educated. It says to be wise, and meek at the same time, and to, you need to be smart. And when you're dealing with things like this, and when you're not sure what you're dealing with, that's imperative. There are those that go and believe in fighting this instead of, going meekly to the slaughter. I agree with that now. I didn't used to agree with that. But I think in the end times, I think we're looking at a fight. I don't think we're looking at, nobody's positive about the rapture, when it will occur, or if we're going to be here to deal, with the situation. If we are here to deal with it, I want to go fighting.
Okay.
I want to know what I'm dealing with and how to fight it.
Well, I tell you one thing, we have a very eclectic audience tonight. I can tell you that there's a lot of different opinions about that one. So I do know one thing. I do know one thing. We definitely, which a lot of folks will even have an issue with this, but from my own personal experience, I do believe that we're in the midst of a spiritual battle. And making a decision on what side you want to be on, and where you're going to end up after this, or your spirit and soul is going to end up. So that's, but I am slowly learning as a believer and in Jesus that part of the issue too is I got to, we're supposed to love Heavenly Father with all our heart, mind, well, I can't say it. Why did I never say the Heavenly Father? Love Him with all your heart, mind, strength, whatever it is. And also love your neighbor yourself. So, the thing is like, as I've grown as someone who's studying the Bible and Scripture and all that, and my experience with God, I've come to realize that everybody is where they're at, and part of the whole thing is learning how to love each other. And I think that it's one of the most tragic things I'm seeing is those who call themselves Christians, and there's so many different people, they're different wherever they're at, you know what I mean? Whether they're a Calvinist or this, that, or whatever. We all like to have our labels and all. It's like, but we never learn how to really just accept each other for where we're at. So I find that interesting, Liz, as a Christian, to have a husband like yours and learning how to, love him. Because, it'd be easy for you to just say, get the heck out. Right?
Well,
I mean, it wouldn't
yes,
be, but as somebody, if you were totally like extremist, zealot, you could say, hey, get the heck out.
I understand what you're saying, Michael, but we're living in different times. I have 6 children, all professionals. As I said, I have a son-in-law who's a Navy pilot. I know where I'm coming from with this. When I say that, I would rather myself and my children be very educated about what's going on, to have their eyes wide open.
I think so too. I think we should.
To be willing to know what they're fighting, and
I think we're profoundly ignorant about the spiritual realm. I think they've done such a great job of misinforming us, disinforming us, poorly educating us, giving us this
the church is blinded. They won't even admit a UFO. Come on.
Right. Well, can you guys see the picture I'm showing you right now?
Yes.
Do you see anything in it?
Yes, I do.
What do you see?
It's little. I see. Oh, no, I got writing in the way. Wait a minute. Bear with me.
Does anybody else see what I'm saying?
Okay.
This is just some of the things I captured on Tuesday after just in 5 minutes walking to the grocery store and back. Anyway,
I see something in the middle of it. I'm
see
looking
its
at it.
eyes, and it's just,
But
you see his buddy right there. There's
yes.
a couple spirits that I took images of, and this I had like 24 amazing, and it was getting better and better as this is where you saw where I showed the guy with the sunglasses thing. You saw this the same day, the same brief 5 minutes, 2.5 minutes walking from the parking lot to the grocery store, then of course walking back. So this sucker right here showed up, and this buddy showed up, and everything really white today. That day, not today. Let's see, we're going. Oh, there's something in there, but I forgot. So there's another one of them, so you can see a little better of it. You know, I don't know if you've ever seen that type before, but it gets even weirder, by the way.
There you go.
So there it is.
Right in the middle. Yeah, right in the middle.
There's me repositioning it at a different. I think that's not the same. So this is a different photo. There, and you can see it and see if the head moves. Remember, I was telling you I was seeing all these white guys, some looking like panda bears. Or
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see what's in there. There's something in there, but you can see right there. But there's definitely something here. You can see that it's actually the two eyes. You see the head around. So I mean,
Yeah.
I hope people understand what we're doing here. We're just it's kind of a strange approach that these last couple quote unquote interviews, because I'm actually interacting with people who have the same experience as me, so it's more like a conversation, and we're just like sharing images. So if people are hoping, you know, they have all these like what you viewed, you know, Sasquatch Chronicles and all that, you're not going to get it there. So it's just not going to happen. There's too much going on.
Right.
Oh,
Right.
I want to show you something. There's definitely something going on. You know, you can see. I haven't adjusted this one yet. But then shadows. Let's see what's going on here. There's a sucker right there. See two eyes, and there's the nostrils and the mouth in there. Now, how is it that they can just have their head pop out of the leaves and out of the trees? Like, I don't understand it. I don't believe they're cloaking. I don't believe this is cloaking. I mean, you could even see with this guy, it's even the hair. I mean, if you take a really good look at this thing, this would be one of those ugly Bigfoot that somebody would say, I saw it with the white face. It would turn white, but you can see here the eyes and nostrils, and you can see the hair. Can you see that?
Yes. Yes, I do.
Am I just dreaming?
Yeah.
No, there's somebody else, Michael, who's really been studying this. He's got a lot of DVDs out. His name's Trey Smith. Are you familiar with him?
Yeah, I know about Trey.
Well, you know, he does bring a lot of video representation of a lot of things that people are seeing these days, you know, such as, you know, giants left over, you know, some of the archaeology that we have available to us, you know, to study. There's a lot of things about our past that isn't brought up into the church, but it's there.
Sure. Hey.
I mean, what do? We can all sit around and take pictures and compare and ooh and ah and, you know, be fascinated. But at the end of it, what are we going to do with it?
Right.
You know,
I think like I was telling Jimmy, Mr. Boots. I don't know. What's your nickname? Just Jimmy, you got a nickname?
It's just Boots. Everybody
Boots.
calls me
Okay.
Boots.
Boots. So I'll call him Mr. Boots. I'm gonna call him Mr. Boots. You know, I was talking to him. This is just the beginning stages. I mean, in 50 years, in 2 generations, the name itself is going to be laughed at. By the way, hi, Eric, my buddy Eric Gibbs. He's the one who's done some Bigfoot research with me. Mark Hunman, he's an amazing man who really understands the Bible and has done a lot of deliverance for people who are dealing with things like this. Hello, Shelley, as well, and Samantha. So, yeah, we got people that watch this, that watch me, and some that actually devout followers of, I guess, Wicca and witchcraft, and some.
Right.
I got this, whatever, and I got bloods people. I have the tendency of just going for the truth, and you know what? It seems to always offend somebody. But anyways, look at this thing right here. What do you think that thing is? Can you see it?
Yeah.
Do I need to point out the 2 eyes and the nose and the mouth?
Yeah, I do see it. I do see stuff in it, yes. And this was at the same place.
This is all at the same time. This is just me just walking to my car and back. These things are looking at me. What do you think about that? Or, you see, we go back to here. Is the eyes right here, and is this the nose, and this is like the mouth, and is this something like a tongue? Think about that. Now watch that, because I lighten it up, and I start seeing these eyes.
Right.
But then there's more entities.
Wow.
Okay, what's next? So there's something in there. There's one I want to share with you guys. That's the same one. This is a fascinating example of them manipulating to make these look like it's a leaf, but you can see right there. You can see what's going on there. You can see the eyes. Can you see that thing?
Yeah, I'm looking down on my phone at it.
If you can't really see these things very well, you will, go back and look at these. You're like, oh my gosh, this guy's like actually capturing things. Like you.
No, I do see a lot of it, and I'll go back and look on the iPad.
But you see this thing, it doesn't match up, and I didn't tweak this picture or do anything. Okay.
Right.
This is just the only thing I just cropped the image and I found the face. But there's this thing popping out of the tree. There's the 2 eyes, and I'm sorry, they ain't pareidolia because look at all the leaves around it. And then this thing just doesn't fit. It don't fit anything. And it's got the 2 eyes. And even got the teeth. Can you guys see that?
It's really small for me to see it, bro.
You want to blow it up a little bit?
Yes, it'd be good.
It's going to get pixelated, but when I blow it up, you can actually see the eyeballs, the retina in it, okay? It's pixelated now, but you can still see its eyeballs. You can see the ridge above the eyes. You got this thing going.
I do see. I screen saved it too, so I can look at it when we're done also as well and blow it up.
He's also got a buddy right here, a little one right there, and hanging out with him. So, anyways, I hope you guys can see that because this is plain as day to me. Tell me, for those that are watching this, if you are watching this, do you see what I see? Do you see what I see? Do you see 2 eyes? Do you see this crazy crown up for the forehead? And do you see the crazy, like a weird mouth thing going on? If anybody, you say yes, no, well, all right, whatever. I hope you guys can see it. It's as plain as day. I mean, it sticks out like a sore thumb. It is not pareidolia.
Ugh.
I don't know how you go about this. I mean, people are like, you want to have an interview, but I'm like, I don't know how you interview him. Like, both of us have like a ton of things. Like, here's a guy that I captured. Here's another entity right there. You got one right here and right here. This is one I captured that day. You should be able to see that one. Can you see that guy's funky head right there? And that guy. And you see this guy.
I see his funky head, Michael.
And you see his two eyes, his nose. He's got the beard going on. He's got the weird Russian hat thing going on. But of course,
I see something on the top there, looking through the leaves as well.
yeah, there's a guy right there. He's got their entities. What are these things? But us, what else can they be but spirits?
Right. Well,
These
they
can't
are.
be flesh and blood things because their heads always show up. Only once in a while do you see the body.
I got the body
only
sitting down in the trees
even
or
less time you end up seeing the things manifest. You're out in the woods.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? You'll see one, the whole body of it once in a while, but most of the time it's heads. Which now gets me to this whole thing about, we talk about conspiracy theorists, right? Which is a coined phrase from the CIA and the military, especially down back in the Vietnam War era. And at the same time period, when people started getting these more and more of these images, they coined the phrase pareidolia. And they made it and they've changed that diagnosis so many times, but it's now part of a entity, right? So we got the ape dude right here with his nose, his two eyes, and then we got his buddy that looks like the dude that has it, and then we got the freaky dude right here. They kind of almost reminds me of something else, but like a priest or something. But anyways, they're telling us this is just our imagination, vain imagination, and we're just seeing things, and that now it's like everybody sees it. And the reason why everybody sees it, and it's normal to see it, is because why is that? What would you say, Jimmy? Why is everybody?
Well, there's a lot of reasons. I mean, Michael, did you ever hear the story, see the picture that Donovan had where he is doing his research, and then you see a guy wearing a black suit,
Yes,
following him, and behind him you see a Sasquatch, or what appears to be a Sasquatch, behind the guy in the suit watching him. Have you seen that?
yes, he showed me that. It's very interesting, very fascinating.
It is. But I've been seeing spirits all my life, so to me this is not new. But it is being brought out more and more. A lot of it is because our technology is allowing us in certain ways to use the cameras. I do a lot of open shutter as well, which allows when something's there trying to manifest, it actually capture it a lot easier, and so forth. But you can also make somebody look like a ghost as well doing that. So you got to be careful what you look at when people put things up. But yeah, a lot of it definitely is the cameras that we have, and it's funny, as the cameras grew and got better, each camera took a different type of a spiritual picture. For a while they're doing a lot of orbs, if you remember, and a lot of orbs. They were capturing a lot of orbs, where now they don't really capture a lot of orbs. Each camera did something a little different when it came to the spiritual side of the things.
Yeah.
But on how it works, But yeah, it's definitely amazing. They are there. I know they're there for sure. I have a lot of good video to show people. One time I asked them why there's so many spirits around me, and they told me for protection. And
well, that's a good question. That's a great point because I prayed to Heavenly Father. I say, please loosen your obedient angels, and I don't believe angels look anything like what the Roman Catholics told us, and now the other organized religions, because of the images that I have, and I got pretty strong evidence for, and a lot of them look like these things. They literally look like these things. And then I know they're ugly and they're freaky looking, but you remember God's amazing creator, and Think about insects. Insects are like the ugliest things you ever see in your life. Now, I'm not saying they're insects. I'm just saying God, in his amazing ability to create things, can create all sorts of things that none of them look appealing to us.
Right.
You know what I mean? That frighten to us. I mean, that are scary. I mean, and so, I mean, I don't know if you can see this image. I took this image the same day, the same couple minutes. And there's a white head right here. And they're stacking up again. There's a head right here. It's fascinating. I want you to tell me what that is. What do you think it is?
I can't see it. I got words in front of it. I can't get rid of them until I let you part of the picture. You know, Michael, I tell people they'll have a photo of a spirit that looks like really ugly, and they say, "Oh my God, this is a demon." And I try to explain to them that it is not. That 80% to 90% spirits that you happen to see are human spirits. And I have photos where they look very disfigured. They look like a demon. The next one, they look a little better. And then the third one, you actually see what they look like when they were alive. It's just some kind of manifest. So a lot of people take that the wrong way, and they automatically think it's a demon, when it simply is them trying to manifest into their human shape when they were alive.
Huh. Interesting. Very interesting. So I don't know how to bring this thing out, but anyway, so let's get back to you guys. So in this next half an hour or so, Liz.
Yeah.
I mean, what
I'm here.
do you plan on doing with all this, knowing all this, and also being a Christian, and then having a sympathetic and a guy like Boots that pretty much, I mean, you got an extended family, whether you like it or not, unless.
That's funny. I never heard it like that before. That's a good one.
Well, he does what he does. He was doing it long before we met. I'm not trying to change him. God has a design for each of us, and I don't question what his is with Jimmy. It leads him, where it leads him. Mine leads me where it leads me, and who knows what's in the future for us.
So,
It's being willing to accept people. Everybody is so different. I've met a lot of different people in a lot of different fields now, more related to Jimmy. And I don't want to be narrow-minded or narrow in vision. Jesus ate with all the sinners. That's who he went to. You can't be so narrow-minded that put yourself in just a spot and not be willing to look at what's going on around you. People, seeing things like this, and I don't want to turn away from it and just be ignorant of it, because it's true, it's out there, it's happening. Sure, I've heard these things myself. I've seen them myself, and it's not anything I would have ever thought to pursue. Most definitely wouldn't have thought to pursue it. It's just a part of his life, and he does what he does with it. I support him in that. And he knows, how I feel about things, and
you can obviously yourself being a daughter of God, you always can call for protection, right? So, and for your husband. So.
Well, absolutely. Well, Jimmy, probably, I don't know. I'd say throughout the day I hear you praying.
I pray every day.
He's a very God-minded person.
Which is very interesting, because Jimmy, you're a guy too who believes in Jesus, and believes in Heavenly Father, believes in God. And you're a walking contradiction to a lot of people who call themselves Christians. There's a lot of people that are Christian, and one time I would be one of those people too, that would be totally against you. Would probably
God gave me the gift to see what I see. I didn't do it. He did it. So for whatever reasons. And I have a lot of dreams that, how can I put it? I don't want to overstep myself here. I have dreams sometimes where it's like I'm meeting all these people, and it looks like something you see in a movie at the end of the world. And, I have always had these spirits around me, and they tell me they're here to protect me for whatever reason. But it's a gift that God gave me. I didn't give it to myself. And matter of fact, let me tell you this. I was about 4 years old when it all started, and I was brought up in a Catholic family. And I had a glass blue, a blue thing of the Blessed Mother. It looked like a stained glass window, about 6 inches high and 6 inches across. And I remember my dad would come in at night, and we'd always say our prayers. And I always said, Dad, if I think real hard, maybe the Blessed Mother will come and see me. Well, that's when it all started. But I don't think it was the Blessed Mother.
Probably wasn't. That's just right. It probably wasn't.
But, it is.
But that's interesting.
That God gives us.
Would you still consider yourself a Catholic today, or are you?
I'm a believer in God. Okay, I don't.
So
believe that.
you're walking the straight and narrow path with God, and not having organized, men interfere with your relationship. And so
I'm a retired bounty hunter. I've been shot 5 times. I've been through a lot. I know God's there.
You're a very interesting man, Boots. I can tell you that much. Yeah. So I mean, but the thing is, there's this issue. As somebody who is, God's like taking me through all these different steps and phases of my Christian walk, and pretty extreme phases. And I had to go and learn a lot of different things, I think, to prepare myself. God had to prepare me to get to this point, because I'm sure if I would have been hit over the head in the beginning of my Christian walk, which, by the way, it didn't start until 2012. And I grew up a Mormon, so it's and after I went on my mission, I said, "The heck with it." I was a man of the world, and I didn't want to believe in any of this stuff. I didn't believe in God. I didn't believe in any of this stuff. I was very, science oriented, and just a typical guy. Just go find a pretty woman and get it on. You know what I mean? And just be, live like an animal, basically, under the guise of a haircut and nice clothes and all that kind of stuff. But anyways, as time's going on, God's prepared me to this point. I don't think a lot of people will be able to handle, period. And that is the fact that the spiritual realm is as real as the air we breathe.
Right.
And it's all around us. So it just makes you wonder what the air is all. What is all this stuff made of? God is the God of life. I mean, what's going on with all these entities popping out of the trees? And I'm sorry, it's not pareidolia, because after a while, you just realize you ain't looking at pareidolia. You're looking at frickin' something that's living. Now, it might not be living in accordance to our understanding of the physical laws, but it's still living.
Right.
There's no one I captured. I mean, I captured so many, and then it got lost. The rest of them, I really think what they did is I do believe they have the ability to mess with your computer, electronics, your phone.
Oh my God, yes.
And they can take away pictures if they don't want them. So I think I took pictures of some of the big guys. So
we did a thing down in Harper's Ferry, and when I came home, my $250 IR light was no good. My new flashlight was no good. A couple other things totally got destroyed doing that investigation down there. So they can manipulate, because they use gather energy as well. So sometimes they'll take energy from your devices that you have, from the batteries and so forth. But yes, they can definitely manipulate pictures. I've seen a picture from that night to the next day totally changed.
Well, you know what? Can you guys like share a couple of your best stories doing that kind of stuff, doing your research and all that? I know you shared a couple of your interesting stories interacting with Bigfoot, but usually when it comes to Bigfoot, it's the same story over and over again. You know what I'm saying? All of a sudden it's there, and oh my gosh, there it is! Oh my gosh, it stinks, it smells, and whatever, you know. But you know, sometimes people have pretty interesting stories, and being one like you, a bounty hunter and all that, you probably have some pretty interesting details to share as well. And Liz, don't forget about sharing as well.
Okay.
So, well, you know, I don't know which story would be the most interesting. I mean, we have a lot of things happen. I was pulled out of bed here one time because I was smoking in bed because the old homeowner did not like people to smoke in bed. And he
like smoking.
Yeah, because he quit himself as well. Or no, he never smoked. That's right. But I was pulled out of bed, and I'll never forget as I'm in the air looking up at the ceiling, thinking this is going to hurt. But we got a little dog, and he loves to play ball, and so he's a little Chihuahua. And I love her to death. And so we're playing ball, and in our doorway between the kitchen and the bedroom, we have like this black curtain-looking thing, like, you know, that opens up. And the ball hit the curtain thing, you know, the doorway, fell to the ground. We went over to get the ball, and she couldn't find it. So then we looked for the ball, we couldn't find it. So we looked and looked with flashlights under the dressers, under the bed. Well, I couldn't go nowhere, so I watched it hit the curtain fall directly downward. We couldn't find it anywhere. And for about 3 or 4 days, we would look for 3 days. We would look for that ball consistently. And then Liz was in the bedroom using the mirror. I was in the computer room on the other side of the kitchen with me and the dog. And I'll go ahead and let you tell them.
Oh, yeah, this was a crazy experience. So I'm standing there, I was putting on hand lotion, something really normal, when in front of my eyes, something came flying by. And I didn't realize what it was at first. There's the house, you know, it's a small stone cottage, and the wall was, I'd say, maybe feet standing. When I looked down at the dresser, it was the ball that we had been looking for 3 days. I have no explanation for that. It appeared out of nowhere. It did happen. I came to the door and I, yelled at Jim. I said, "Jimmy, where's the dog?" He said, "She's in here with me." And I said, "Well, you're not going to believe what just happened." So, I see these things myself, and that's probably the strangest thing at that point in my life that I'd ever experienced. It was absolutely bizarre, and there's no explanation for it. The ball came out of nowhere, midair, another dimension. I don't know. Right in front of my face. And what was really odd about it, Michael, this is a really rubber bouncy ball. It's not large, it's small, like she is.
Little squeaker.
I don't remember it bouncing. It seemed to have landed hard and
dead stop.
Yeah, dead stop. So I have no explanation for that. I don't go pursuing these things. Most of the time, I'm an observer. Normally, the last session Jimmy had his ghost popped up. Very interesting. We'd had some friends over. I immediately start questioning his spirits, about God. So, I'm.
What did they say about what did they say about God?
Sometimes they don't say anything. Sometimes I'll get a response.
What will they say?
Say to them, state for that Jesus Christ is our Savior.
Sure enough, they're interfering. Sure enough, guys, you're not. Well, you probably will believe it, but you know what? whatever you're going to share, we're sharing right now, they're interfering with the transmission. So say it again. Are you still there?
Oh,
That's funny.
they most of the time, yeah, most of the time, Michael, they don't answer in the affirmative, and this is one issue I've had with Jimmy. That's what I tell him. It says in the Bible to test the spirits, to know they are of God. So, we're still in the recent part of it. We have had a couple of responses, which would be yes. A lot of times it seems to take a lot of energy on their part to have a type conversation. And what I've noticed about his boxes are they come in and out. I do believe that they're speaking in regular sentences because the energy situation, it comes in and out. You only catch part of it. So a couple of affirmatives about God.
There's you guys still there?
So, yeah.
Yeah.
They're interfering.
Yeah.
They're interfering with whatever you guys want to share. When you go back, when you listen to this part, which be about an hour and a half into it, you're going to see you're sharing your experience, I guess your testimony of them and talking about God. They don't want you obviously to share and talk about God. Isn't that interesting?
That could be.
Wow.
That could be.
So the thing is, do you ever tormented by these things?
No, I had a batch of about 4 or 5 of them one night. Let me know. So that's all too.
Well, so what would you guys say? What would you guys say to those people who are being tormented by these things? Because I've talked to several people who have actually been tormented by these things.
No, that's a good question because we had down as well, and
are you guys moving? I want to ask you before you're breaking up so bad. Are you guys moving around?
Did
you move?
How about now? That better?
They're breaking up. We start talking about God. I'm totally convinced that the vast majority of these things that we're dealing with do not want us talking about God. Don't want to talk about Jesus.
Agree.
I just I don't.
Yeah.
Hey, you're breaking up.
Can you hear me now?
No, you keep breaking up.
Wow.
Well, I tell you what I can try to do. We'll see what happens here. I can hang up on you guys and try to call you back.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to hang up and I'll try to call you back. Let's see how that works.
Okay.
Well, sure enough, always, when you start talking about God and around these spirits and all that, a lot of them don't like it. That's why you need to call upon God in the name of Jesus Christ for a protective hedge. And I wouldn't be surprised if you can't hear a damn thing I'm saying right now. If anybody's still out there, tell me if you can. Hello.
Uh-oh.
Hello, can you hear me?
Okay, how about now? That better?
Yeah, you sound a lot better. Well, one of the things that could be happening too is your phone dying on you. You're losing juice.
No, I'm using the iPad. That's plugged in 100%. We're good there.
Yeah, you sound a lot better now. So let's see if they'll let you talk about God and all that. So Liz, you were talking about bringing up God to these things and some to the affirmative, and whether it's positive things or negative things.
Both.
Well, give us examples of what you're talking about.
Well, if I ask them, can you say God? Can you say the name of God, Jesus? Sometimes we will have a repeat said back to us. Sometimes I don't get anything said back. Jimmy, does what he does with his equipment. And I kind of, a lot of times I just stand back and I'm more of an observer and, educating myself on things. Sometimes I've participated a little bit. Usually I kind of, get upset over it. And so I start, getting pretty hard with whoever he's speaking to, about God. So like I said, it's kind of hit or miss. And I think a lot of times, Michael, the communication it goes through what we have been going through. I think he gets bits and pieces of what's being said to him. He's got to go back and he's got to re-listen and sometimes slow it down or speed it up, whatever he needs to do. Like I said, it's kind of 50-50 on God with his spirit.
Huh. Well, it's interesting. I would be interesting to hear what they have to say as far as what they think about Jesus. Do they love him? Do they not love him?
Well, we had asked one time, we were talking about heaven, and Jimmy had asked them, what was that? What is time?
Oh, yeah, I said, we had this on video. I asked them, what is time like? And they said 1 day is equal to 100 years. Or no, I'm sorry, 1 day is equal to 1 hour. 100 years. Yeah, I did. I'm sorry. 1 hour is equal to their time. 1 hour is equal to 100 years of our time.
Now, biblically, a day is 1,000. So,
right.
I don't, that's what I'm saying. You can test something. I don't know what Jimmy's getting. He is getting. I can say that. He definitely, he gets conversations with them. They do answer intelligently. Not each and every one of them, but the majority, yes. So, I don't know. I don't know who they are or where they're coming from or any of that. It could be picking up another, existence in time. I mean, I just don't know, Michael.
All right. Well, one of the things I think about too, when you think about the Bible and how people in groves used to worship their false gods and their idols, and I wonder if they're interacting with these things. I got a picture right now of the same day, and there's a big blob. You can see the shadow, and if you look real good, you can actually see faces and the heads, and one looks, like a Bigfoot, and then they got all the other stuff going on. So, I just wonder if these people in the past were worshiping these things. And I wondered how much, really, you hear all this information about this, that, and the other, okay? And I just wonder how much of the ruling elite are interacting with these things themselves. Do they know what's really going on, and they're just not telling us the truth?
I think about that.
I think they do. Yeah. I'm a conspiracy theorist myself.
Well, you don't want to call yourself that. You're not a theorist. Listen, you two conspired to get married and be a couple. So conspiracies happen all the time. It's not necessarily a bad thing. It's a conspiracy, right? That's human nature. The Bible's all about conspiracy all the way through it.
Right.
So, there's no theory about it. I mean,
right.
We got, also.
Well, yeah, I definitely believe the government is involved in all of this. I do believe all the occultism that has gone on since Babylon is still very active today. Very active.
It'll be CERN.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you got the CERNs. You got many, many different CERNs. We got, I think 7 or at least 7 in the United States alone.
Yeah, it just seems like, if you will, those in charge are pushing the revelation to occur. They're just pushing it as hard as they can.
They want to know what God knows, and I don't think they're going to do it.
I wonder sometimes, because a lot of the there's the dream of the new Atlantis, and which sounds to me for the average Joe like you and I would be a nightmare, but for the ruling elite and interacting with the spiritual realm, and I think they want to open things up again a little bit, and
Sure.
because I think there's something that the supernatural, they have a lot of, I guess, supernatural powers that a lot of people want to have, right? And you look at Superman and all these other Marvel and DC characters that are in movies and all that, and this is all this, and you look at technology and everything. I mean, we don't even understand. Like I was talking to Boots here yesterday about, we don't even know what electricity is. We know how to generate it, but we don't know what it is. We don't know. We know how to make it manifest, but at least the average person doesn't know, and the average electrician can't even tell you what electricity is.
Mhm.
I mean, so
Yeah, but yet we need it. Spirits need it to manifest, and it seems like the Sasquatch is quite frequently walking around the power lines as well.
I think, yeah, you hear that quite a bit.
So
Yeah, we do have.
we all need it. Yeah, we all need that electric for some reason or another. You know?
Yeah, it makes you wonder, doesn't it?
It does.
Just
It does.
makes you wonder.
Well, Michael, it's anything that Satan does is a copy. He's trying so hard to be God, and he can't be, but he's, going to do everything he can. So a superhuman race of people, yeah, that makes perfect sense. Something along his line. And, being able to do things that are what some perceive as magic or supernatural. Satan is prince of the air. And so, what we see happening above us has a lot to do with him,
Mm-hmm.
I think.
Well, I know that a lot of people are in agreement with you about that one. So I wonder, it should be interesting what the future has to hold. Definitely, there's a lot of still mysteries out there that need to be solved. And you know what? It's only going to be solved by folks like us.
That's right.
And they're not going to offer up anything to you on a silver platter. I can tell you that much. It's not going to happen. So, and I know one thing: the more I think I know what's going on, the more experience I have, the more I realize how little I know and how little anybody else knows.
Yeah, that's true.
So.
Yeah, same here. Same here.
Well, you guys, you know what? I've had a grand time. I hope we do this again. I hope you check it out. There's a lot of images that if you guys didn't see or
Right.
that there, there's a lot of stuff. I want to say thanks to all the folks who are there. Hey, Lori. Lori's here. Hey, Lori, how you doing? You missed it. You check it out again. You want to see some amazing, freaked out, flipped out images and a great conversation. But anyways, thank you, Lori, for joining us. Eric Gibbs, Mark Hummelman, Shelley Billington, Samantha Allen, Kelly. I won't mention your last name just for your own anonymity. Anonymous. What do you going to call that?
Anonymity.
Anonymity. Thank you.
Yeah, I couldn't
Mary.
get that.
Mary Wagner, thank you. Jerry Smith, Randall. Randall, I never get I even spelled your last name wrong. But anyways, Randall Kepley, David Hollis, Susan De La Moss, Donovan Jennings, Jimmy, of course, she's plugged in. Who else? Mark, he was in and out. Andy, you were in and out. I think you might still be there. I'm not sure. Solomon, if you're still there, Solomon Floyd, Stephen, thank you. Kimberly Swanson Morris, thank you. Kimberly's been on my show. She has amazing images that she takes in her yard out there and where she lives of this a sky just full. I mean, we're not talking a couple or even 100 orbs, thousands, tens of thousands of them. Literally, it's like sea of orbs all around her. You should just check it out. That's amazing stuff. Sean Bell, thank you. And Angie, if you're still there, cool. Sheen Bell, thank you. Trent, if you're still there. If you're not, Elijah, thank you. Who else? Anybody else? Dennis, and of course Gwen and Sammy Wood. So cool. We had a handful of folks that showed up. That's really cool. And you guys can check out Jimmy Boots. He's got a Twitter page, and he's also got a Facebook page, and I'll make sure the link's there. And I hope that we do this again. It's fun. It's fun talking to folks that are going through the same thing. It's trying to figure out what's going on. So at least we're not alone. You know what I mean?
There you go. There you go.
Thank you, Liz. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, it was great, and thank you, Boots. So
No, thank you.
So, and when I get this uploaded on YouTube, I'll send you a link in Messenger, okay, bud?
Sounds great. Thank you.
All right. Well, there's more to talk about, more to share, so people, please have a little bit of patience, A lot of shows are about introducing you folks to you, so learning who they are, what they're going through, what their experiences are. Are they legit? What kind of images do they have? Stories, where everyone loves the stories. Something's going on, that's for sure. It's a lot bigger than us and a lot more interesting than what they ever told us. So, talk to you later, friends.
No, take care.
So there you go. Jimmy Boots, ex-bounty hunter. What do you guys think? I believe the dude. I believe he's seriously got things going on. What are these things in the woods that manifest and are like blurry, but almost look like spirits, but never fully manifest? What are they? What do you think they are? I don't know. I know what I know.